we have a lot of ways that we can actually get audio in and out of computers, and Dante Via lets you take advantage of that in some really new ways. I'd like to show you a few examples of ways you could imagine using Dante Via. So I've actually made a couple little videos where I did it for reals. This is a really simple example here where I'm just going to imagine that I want to extend something. I want to take a USB source and I want to get its output to some place really far away from where a USB source could normally reach. So I got here imagining I'm hooking in a little USB interface to a mic. I'm going into a machine running Dante Via. It's going over a network, who knows how far, and I'm just going to come right out the analog out of the output of that thing and play it out. I might use this for sort of instant speakers in an overflow room. I can just grab a laptop, a couple of speakers. I've got a network node ready to go. So how does that look? Well, this is actual Dante Via right here, a version from a couple months ago. What I would do is I would just take the USB interface that showed up and just tell it to enable Dante right on it. And you'll notice that appeared as soon as I plugged it in. Once I tell it to enable Dante, it now shows up in Dante Via on the other computer, and all I have to do is drag that source to a destination. I'm done. I didn't need to open Dante Controller. I didn't need to go and fuss with sample rates or anything else. I simply have two copies of Dante Via. One shows me the source. I drag it on the other one to the destination I want. That's it. And like all Dante devices, of course, it remembers what you did. So if you shut the system down and start it up again, everybody's home. Let's try another little imaginary experiment here where I want to take some media player and I want to connect that to my network and have that play out, say, as background music in a lobby or a retail setting. Well, the problem I might have with other solutions, including virtual sound card, is that I won't have this isolated. That is, most sound cards just capture all the sound from the computer if I'm dealing with a media application, not a DAW. And that means that I'd be catching all the system sounds, the YouTube videos running, the dings and the dongs coming from the email program. I don't want that. I want just the stuff from my media player. Let's see how that looks. So in this case, I'm going to use iTunes as my example. I just click Enable Dante. And now, when I open Dante Controller, in this case, is to show you how you can use it, iTunes appears as its own set of channels under the computer name, and all audio applications work this way. I now simply route it like I would any other Dante application, and I'm good to go. So now iTunes audio is going to that destination. Nothing else is. I could play YouTube videos all day, and no one can hear it coming out of those speakers. I can even merge things and do a mix on the fly with Via because it's doing conversion. So in this case, I'm going to take what I had before, I'm going to add a mic to it. So this time I'm going to take a USB microphone. I'm going to drag it over to what we call the two-channel application input to create a mixing pool. Now I'm going to take iTunes, I'm going to add it. So now I have a mix comprised of iTunes and my USB mic. I now enable Dante for that mix. Yep, I'm going to emphasize that point. That's what I did when I made the video. And now I can go over to Dante Controller, and it shows up as a virtual sound card that can contain any combination of objects. And I can send it off. That quick. In the past, it's been possible to do things to your system using some various bits of software to route the audio internally and do things that the system doesn't normally allow. And with Via, we've just made that really, really easy. And finally, here's one that has come up as a request fairly frequently. I think there's even some hardware product coming up around this. But here's a software solution. You want to monitor a Dante channel. How do you do that? Everything is on the network. All the channels are effectively kind of together, a whole bunch of packets, so you need some Dante device to pick them apart. Well, tell you what. If I have Dante Via, I can just make my headphones a Dante device. And now I can just route whatever channels I want straight to the cans on my head. So to do that, It's really simple. I plug the headphones in. I enable Dante on them. Poof, my headphones are now a Dante receiving node. Now I can go to Dante controller. I can pick out any Dante stuff on my network, and I can just send it right to my headphones. And I can hear any channel I want. Just like that.